Warm greetings to all joining us as we have Graham Hawkins on the line. I say warm greetings, it's warm in the studio, but we'll have a chat to Graham Hawkins shortly and he'll tell us a bit more about the cooler conditions in Cape Town. Firstly, Graham, welcome, and how are you doing?
All good, thank you, Sheldon. Yeah, it's a little nippy. Winter is coming quickly here in Cape Town. It's a clear day today. We record this obviously the day before. There is a suggestion of some rain around tomorrow, but we'll have to watch that. But it's pretty cool here.
Let's get straight into the action. Being a 9-race program, the exotics will start in the second race with the bipot. So race number 1, the Hollywoodbets Kenilworth welcomes you. Work Riders Maiden Plate over 1,400 meters. Number 2, Rubertus, is at around 18 to 10. Number 1, Shotgun Willie, is at 7 to 2. You can get 4 to 1 and bet to the rest. Not going to spend too much time on the first race. Number 1, Shotgun Willie, they're looking to put a pair of blinkers on with Callum Dixon aboard from the best of the draw. And number 2, Rubertus, they look to be the obvious 2, Graham?
They do look to be the 2 in-form runners. This is very interesting because I think it's the first Work Riders race ever in Cape Town around the turn. They're going 1,400 meters, so it's going to be interesting to see how the pace pans out. It's going to be interesting to see how the race pans out. But as you say, we're not going to spend too much time on this race. I think number 1, Shotgun Willie with the inside gate, blinkers go on. Callum Dixon reverts to the distance of its best ever run when it ran 4th to Nevada King over 1,400 meters. That was back in November last year, first up as a gelding. So on that run, he's got to go onto the short list. There's no standout selection here. Number 2, Robertus, obvious claims. Number 4, Aspect on best form and chance, well-tried maiden. And then the one that could surprise them all is number 6, Miss New York, the 3-year-old daughter of the United States. Blinkers go on her as well. Her best run was also over 1,400 meters. Also, interestingly, way back in November when she ran 3rd to Green Chili over 1,400 meters. But it's going to be as much about tactics as about form. They go 1,400 meters. It's going to be interesting to see these Work Riders going around the turn for what I believe is the first time in Cape Town. I stand corrected on that point, but I'm pretty sure it's the first time in a long time, certainly. And it's going to be an interesting race, whatever the outcome.
So there we have race number 1. I'll be in the camp of number 1, Shotgun Willie, with the 1 draw, Callum Dixon in the blinkers. Jump out, sit on the rail, and hopefully stays there. Let's move on to race number 2, which will be the opening leg of the bipot. Race number 2 is over 1,200 meters. This is down the straight. A number of unraced entries in race number 2. Let's just have a quick look at the betting. And having a look at the betting for the second race, number 11, which is Flying V, is trading at around 7 to 2. Number 2, Nile Boss, is at around 4 to 1. Graham, looking at the opening leg of the bipot with all the unraced horses, I see you've gone with numbers 4 and 11. So that is Lady Majorca and a horse like number 11, Flying V.
Well, Flying V is an interesting runner because it found betting support at long odds last time out behind stable companion Baltic Secret, who was a runaway winner. Baltic Secret didn't disgrace herself in a feature next time up, so Flying V's got obvious claims, but drawn a bit wide. I prefer the chances of number 4, Lady Majorca, coming off a good debut, is drawn along the inside, so number 4, Lady Majorca, is actually my first choice ahead of number 11, Flying V. You can't discount Adam Marcus's runner, number 2, Nile the Boss, has shown ability in all 3 starts to date, gets the services of Keegan de Mello's drawn in gate 2. And then interestingly, there's a bit of anti-market support coming for number 10, Fatal Gem. This was also only in 1 start, ran 5th, about 6 lengths behind Double Grand Slam. But there is a bit of a nibble in the anti-post market for the Brett Crawford trained runner, number 10, Fatal Gem. But yeah, my top 2 selections and my bipod inclusions are number 4, Lady Majorca, and 11, Flying V. But I must admit, Sheldon, I'm not married to those selections. As I always say with the first leg of the bipot, I'm going to watch the betting right up until the last minute. I'm going to watch them go to the gates and then finalize my selections in the first leg of the bipot, having have the opportunity to monitor the betting and see them go to the gates. But at this early stage, for me, it's numbers 4 and 11, but healthy respect for numbers 2 and 10.
Well, that is the best advice. Wait till they go down to the post if you're looking to have a bet and get those bipots on, and just watch if there's any closer to race time support, and maybe throw in one of those first timers who find some decent support. That'll take us on to race number 3, which is over 1,000 meters. So they'll be down the lane. The speed will be on. Looking at the betting, number 1 speed races at 28 to 10. There's been a little bit of action around for number 11 Underworld, who shortened down 28 to 10. And then the first timer, number 9 Right Royal Mo, is at 5 to 1. Graham, your top 2 runners that you have in the bar pot are numbers 1 and 11. Let's kick off with number 1, Speed Racer. Keegan DeMello jumps aboard for the Brett Crawford stable. And I think if you look at that debut performance, that form line behind Future Variety, I think that stands out in this field, and then showed the necessary improvement when third behind Silver Crown last time out.
Yes, definitely coming along the right way. So it's going to, there's plenty of upside about number 1 Speed Racer, having its third start a lot more streetwise now. Keegan DeMello teaming up with Brett Crawford. I did mention the draw in the previous race. Down the straight, the bias still seems to be towards the inside. The horses drawn along the inside rail seem to have that slight edge. Obviously, when the heavy rains come, that could all change. So it's interesting. It's a dynamic that shifts at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. Sometimes it's down the inside, sometimes it's down the outside. I went on the previous race for the horses drawn towards the inside rather than the stand side. And I'm doing the same here. I'm going with number 1 Speed Racer ahead of number 11 Underworld. They met last time out. There was nothing to choose between them. So that was Underworld's first run. So you could expect Underworld to improve sufficiently to turn the tables on number 1 Speed Racer. There was only a half a length or so in it last time, but when they met. But again, Underworld is drawn towards the stand side of the track. Speed Racer hard up along the inside fence. That could just give him the edge. But that's a little bit of guesswork on my side, because the bias at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth can change as the weather changes and as the state of the going changes. There are a number of very well-bred first-timers here. This is the first leg of the place accumulator. Number 2, Brave Winter. Number 3, J Rips. Number 9, Right Royal Mo. They're all respected in the market, and they're all first-timers, any of which could be good enough to win, because the form amongst the race runners, Speed Race and Underworld, the best of those, is not that strong. It's not that convincing. It's not impossible for a first-timer to come out and win this, the first leg of the place accumulator, over 1,000 meters.
So there we have it, race number 3. Once again, keep an eye on the unraced horses, some well-bred horses there, as you heard from Graham. And if there's any activity in the betting, the early anti-post support has come for number 11 Underworld, but keep a close time closer to race time. That'll take us into the zone of race number 4 over 1,200 meters, which will be the opening leg of the pick 6. And the opening leg of the pick 6, race number 4, they are betting 9 to 2 the field. So that pretty much tells you the tail. Graham, in your bar pot, you've gone 3 runners, numbers 6, 9, and 11. Who would be your outright selection in race number 4? And what bet would you suggest for the punters out there over the 1,200 meter trip?
We're getting into a number of trappy races now. These horses, pretty much all of them met on the 1st of May, which is only a couple of weeks ago, where Symphony of Light won. Close up behind that was Hear My Voice in second. In third, Little Miss Pig ran 4th. Where's the Party ran 5th. And there was only a length and a quarter between those 4 when they last met. I'm going to give it again my vote to number 6, Symphony of Light, although she won narrowly. She did win with a bit of authority. She came from off the pace to win going away, and I quite like the style in which she won. So she could well again have the measure of numbers 9, Hear My Voice, and 11, Where's the Party. But those are the minimum that you've got to include into the bipod, 6, 9, and 11. But the list of potential winners doesn't end there. 14, Little Miss Pink, is coming along the right way. I fancied her last time. She's drawn right towards the stand side. Enemy Territory is drawn along the inside. The 3-year-old daughter of Canford Cliffs has any amount of scope for improvement. So those would be the principles. Nippy Winter could suddenly find best form drawn along the inside rail. But I'm going to go with number 6, Symphony of Light, to confirm the form of her last run and for her to win again, despite obviously being slightly disadvantaged at the weights. I just like the way that she accelerated well last time and went on to win a race going away. So she could be too good again for Hear My Voice and Where's the Party. But you've also got to consider Enemy Territory, Little Miss Pink, and a possible roughie is number 2, Nippy Winter.
So there you have it. Throw in 1 or 2 extra runners there, and hopefully you can get a bit of a result. As we move on to race number 5, which is due off at 14:42. On this occasion, 1950 meters will be the trip. And just looking at the anti-post betting, they are betting number 1, Baba Bombshell at 33-10. Around 7-2, number 7, Royal Invitation, and then 4-1, number 5, Fleeting. In the bar pot, you've gone with numbers 1 and 7. Let's kick off with number 1, Baba Bombshell. With the conditions of the race, number 1, Baba Bombshell, and number 4, Follow the Star, they are best weighted, but 3, Flowerist Sargon, 5, Fleeting, and 7, Royal Invitation are only just in behind there, Graham. So let's kick off with Baba Bombshell.
Very closely handicapped. Bye-bye Bombshell. She continues to disappoint. You know, she last won a race at Fairview in April of last year. Well, that's about a year ago. It's 397 days since her last win. But she's dropping rapidly in the ratings. At one stage, she was as high as 100. She's now down to a 93. She's got a further 3 pounds relief off her last run, went fourth, albeit a distant fourth behind Love is a Rose. She's starting to come down to a mark where she could be competitive. She might still be fractionally high. She's got 61.5 to shoulder, but she's drawn on the inside Richard Faree and Justin Snaith. So, yes, Bye-Bye Bombshell is a lurker, and you've got to respect her. She's my second choice. I do prefer number 7, Royal Invitation. Again, you know, recent form is good. She's won 2 of her last 4 starts. She's a maturing type. She looks to have plenty of scope for further improvement. Typeface is, of course, weighted to go very much closer to Royal Invitation. But as was the case with Symphony of Joy in the previous race, I was impressed with the way that Royal Invitation went about her business last time out. And she really ran on resolutely all the way to the line. She's a likely race. She's won twice from 8 starts. And Andrews was on her last time and gets her right again. So the combination could be on the mark once more. But you've got to respect 1, Bye-Bye Bombshell. You've got to respect number 2, Typeface. And in these fillies and mares type of races, the pace makes the race. There could be an upset. Supreme Dream should be there and thereabouts. But I'm pretty confident with number 7, Royal Invitation. Bye-Bye Bombshell is the one that I can't properly assess.
Excellent. Let's go on to race number 6, and this will be run over a journey of 1,800 meters. And just looking at the betting for race number 6, they are betting 4-1 the field. So as Graham mentioned earlier on, quite a competitive card, so you're going to have to go through very shrewdly, study your form, and maybe find 1 or 2 of those lurkers. Graham, in race number 6, I see you've gone no less than 4 runners, numbers 4, 6, 8, and 9, and I think that pretty much sums it up. It's a very open-looking affair.
Don't like this race at all for me. Why you've got to try and narrow down some of the other legs, because for me this is the toughest race in the card. This is definitely a field leg. I've got, as you mentioned, 4 horses in the bipot. Number 9, Mitar, disappointed me badly last time. That was over 1,600 meters. She was staying on at the end without really getting a blow in, but she always does enough to keep you interested, and she's got as good a chance here as anything else in the race, because none of these are all that consistent. So that would be my hesitant top choice in a race, which I really don't like. Number 6, Estimated, would be my second choice. My lurker in the pack would be number 4, Official Secret. I'm waiting for this one to suddenly pop up. Again, a further 3 points drop in the ratings. Ashton Harris, Glenn Cotton. They like to win when most of us are not ready for them to win, but I'm not going to let Official Secret run loose. I think she's got a bit of a chance in a wide open race. Peut-être moi, the Richard Faree, Justin Snaith competition, second to Supreme Dream and a penultimate start, and then well beaten by Royal Invitation. Last time out, if Royal Invitation wins the previous race, as I expect it to do, then that form line doesn't look too bad. But you can't ignore the chances of the rest of the field. This race is ripe for an upset. 4, 6, 8, and 9 at least. That's my list for the penultimate leg of the bipot. The last leg being race 7, being a 9-race card. But no confidence at all in race 6, so no confidence.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned number 4, Official Secret, because this is my first selection at around 10-1, and you've certainly picked out the value coming back from that 99-day absence. And if you go back 4 runs, ran behind Time Flies, ran 4th to Fleeting, and of course we saw Time Flies the other day come through in KwaZulu-Natal to strut her stuff, and you're also waiting for her to bounce back. And at 10-1, I'm sure we can tell the viewers an each-way bet. not out of the question.
Absolutely not. I would not be surprised to see Official Secret bouncing back. She's also dropping rapidly in the ratings to a mark where I think she'll be effective. So, yeah, you've got to give her as much chance as anything in the race. Nothing stands out there.
Well, there, it's no more a secret. It is officially now on the radar. So that horse, Official Secret, at around 10-1. Both Graham and I are suggesting that is a horse worth throwing into your exactas swingers, and maybe a little bit of a touch on the nose at 10-1. That'll take us on to race number 7 over 1,600 meters. Looking at race number 7, they are betting 9-2 the field, with number 3, Gimme a First from the Dean Cannemeyer's stable, 9-2. Number 7, Fun Zone, is also trading at 9-2, along with number 9, Busy Lizzie. Now, when you look at race number 7, once again, Graham, the best weighted column has them a blanket you could throw over them. Numbers 4, 9, 7, 6, and 8. There's just about a point separating them.
Well, again, in this race, Sheldon, I'm going to sound like a stuck record. There isn't a single runner that you can completely discount. Every single one of the 10 runners, to a greater or lesser extent, has a chance. So we've got to try and work out those with a greater chance of current form, because I've got to try going the field in the previous race. We can't just keep going field. So I'm going to stick my neck out and suggest that number 9, Busy Lizzie, might well get rewarded for her consistency since winning a maiden over 1,600 meters way back in January. Well, I say way back, it was only a few months ago, but she's had 3 starts since, and she's been a close second on every occasion, beaten a half a length or less behind Perilla, Red Sash, and Gimme a First. Now, she's waited to turn the tables on Gimme a First, who runs here and beat her last time out. Busy Lizzie does have a bit of a wide draw to overcome, but Sean Veal knows her well, and she's only got 52.5 on her back. So I'm going to make Busy Lizzie my top choice. But in the bipod, I have included also in the final leg, number 3, Gimme a First, and number 6, Betty Boop, who I think those two are the principal threats. They may be the principal threats, but they're certainly not the only threats. You know, Veronica Mars obviously got a chance. Academic Gold is in pretty good, consistent form without really getting a blow-in. Lady Silvano did us a very good turn when beating Sadki in a penultimate start. We were all on Lady Silvano that day, 10-1, and she certainly comes in with a chance again. Fun Zone, I suspect Fun Zone is better over 1,400 meters than 1,600 meters, but I might be wrong about that. Miss Greenlight seems held on her last run, but these fillies do have a little bit of an in and out look about them sometimes, and I guess you would be totally surprised if Miss Greenlight came through again. But going to nail my colours to the mast, Jen. Busy Lizzie, my top choice, and I'm only going to include numbers 3 and 6 to back her up, but that's not where the winning chances end.
Graham, just a quick comment on number 4, Veronica Mars, because at around 8-1, I think maybe we can take some swingers and exactors with your horse number 9, Busy Lizzie. If you look at Veronica Mars, it has been 599 days since she last tasted success, but she's run behind the likes of Marina, Santa Maria, and Rocking Ringo, with the average rating were 107 and 102. So at around 8-1, a definite horse to throw into the exactors and trifectas?
Yes, and you're trying to persuade me to make sure I throw her into the jackpots and the pick sixes as well. I respect your view. Veronica Mars clearly has ability. She is a stable companion to Betty Boop. Richard Ferree has opted to ride Betty Boop. He doesn't always get it right, as we've seen in the past. So I guess that's why I'm leaning more towards Betty Boop in the Justin Snaith yard. But as you mentioned, Veronica Mars, there's nothing wrong with her form. Without winning, she's been very, very game and very consistent. She was a well-beaten second behind Love is a Rose last time. And prior to that, she was beaten by Miss Greenlight, who runs here. And Miss Greenlight seems to be held. So on that basis, I was happy to not include Veronica Mars. But you know, these races are not run on paper; they're run on the grass. And she certainly is due a victory and can win on her best form. There's no doubt about that.
So there we have it. I've tried to twist Graham into throwing in Veronica Mars, and if she comes through, hopefully we all go through in the exotics as we step on the gas to races 8 and 9. Race number 8 is run over 1,400 meters at approximately 16:30. And once again, the best weighted horse is number 4, Linebacker. And we all know about Linebacker. He's been there, done it. He's raced in the big races. And Graham, let's start with number 4, Linebacker. This will be a prep run. He's been off the track for 109 days. But when you look at the field, he is the class package. And the 1400-meter triple being a race to bring him along?
Yeah, I'm sure that that Vaughan Marshall would like to get this first run under his belt. Interestingly, we're not sure what his short-term ambitions are with Linebacker, because he's no longer a consideration as far as the Hollywoodbets Durbanville is concerned. He was withdrawn in the early stage, but there's no stopping him being resupplemented if he bounces back. So what to expect of Linebacker is difficult to know. 1400 meters is clearly on the sharp side. He hasn't run since finishing downfield in what was that rough and tumble World Sports Bet in Cape Town Met. But he's a class act, and he could come out fresh. He could trouble the best of them here from a 4-gate, but you can't be confident about him, so you've got to sit on the fence a little bit with Linebacker. He comes up against a team of horses from the Snaith Yard.
Let's touch on one of those runners, which is number 8, Royal Aussie, who obviously got the big payday in his penultimate run there when beating Dave the King. And he's a horse who's got plenty of ability, as he's shown with his 3 big victories from the 9 runs to date. Richard Ferree. And from that draw, he'll be looking to get across.
Yeah, it's an interesting race because all of these horses met on the 5th of April. Tudor Faye beat Greencarve comfortably. 3rd on that occasion was Speed Machine. 4th was Royal Aussie. 5th was Fire Alley. And they all come together here again. And Royal Aussie is obviously slightly better off at the weights. But we mustn't forget we go to the winter course tomorrow, being Wednesday. We're on the winter course, a shorter run-in. But both Tudor Faye and Royal Aussie, as well as Speed Machine, have shown good form on the winter course. I'm going to side again with Tudor Faye to get the better of Royal Aussie. Royal Aussie should certainly go closer. You can't discount the chances of Greencarve. You can't discount the chances of Speed Machine. This is a very, very competitive race. And throw into the mix one horse that wasn't in that race, and that's number 7, Port Louis, who raided Fairview in March to go and try and win the Eastern Cape Guineas, was put in his place by Perfection. But certainly on his best form, Port Louis has got to have a big chance. He ran 2nd in the Langerman behind Light Speed, and Light Speed makes his comeback to racing in this event. We last saw Light Speed back in November last year. He was a very talented young horse. He won 3 in a row. He's won 3 of his 5. The riding arrangements suggest that Light Speed is going to need the run. Justin Snaith's early comments also suggest that Light Speed's going to need the run, so we can discount his chances. But I think you've got to throw in a whole lot of horses here. You've got to throw in, I'll give them to you my order of preference. Number 3, Tudor Faye. Number 7, Port Louis. Number 1, Greencarve. Number 8, Royal Aussie. Number 6, Speed Machine. And I'm not going to leave out number 4, Linebacker, because he might well come out fresh and blow this field away. So I'm going pretty wide as far as the exotics are concerned, but Tudor Faye will give us a good run for our money again.
Well, just when we thought it would get easier, unfortunately, race number 9 over 1,400 meters, been a Class 3 race. They're once again betting 9-2 the field. And Graham, just looking at race number 9, I think this is a nice quartet type of race. Is there any horse in particular that you take as a roving banker and then perhaps throw a few runners in? Because when you look at the field, another one of those races which could produce any type of result.
Well, as we've said so many times, off-season, the Western Cape here at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth or Hollywoodbets Durbanville don't race all that often. They only have 25 race meetings, I think, over a 5-month period, which makes these races tough for all the right reasons, because the horses are all looking to come out and take each other on in very competitive handicap-type races, and that's why we have this competitive racing, not because they're weak, but they're all pretty strong. So if you're looking for a roving banker in this last race, then I think number 1, Beerenberg, fits that bill, because I'm pretty certain that Beerenberg is going to run into the top 4 from pole position, good form, battling to win its 4th career start, hasn't won for 228 days. It won 3 races in 4 starts if you go back in its form line, but in defeat has been very, very consistent. The key horse for me is number 7, Felsgood. Is he going to stay? They're trying him around the turn. He's drawn in the middle of the field. Keegan DeMello gets a ride for the first time aboard the 4-year-old son of Schnitzel, trained by Brett Crawford. He doesn't race as if he's going to get home over 1,400 meters, but interestingly, when he beat Wyhag, that was around the turn at Durbanville, and he was dropped out way out to the rear of the field, and he came storming home to beat Wire Going Away when ridden with complete restraint. And that was around the turn. So he has been around the turn before, but this will be the first time at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth that he goes beyond 1,200 meters. And I suspect they're going to drop him out to last or near last and try and adopt the same tactics that they used when he won in his penultimate start. If he puts in that kind of a performance, he could blow this field away. So number 7, Felt Good, would be my top choice. And it's going to be interesting to see how they ride him. I hope they drop him out and let him run on very strongly as he did in his penultimate start. Berenberg is the one that he has to fear most, always runs a genuine race. Solar Power showed us what he's capable of last time. He's had all kinds of issues throughout his life. That was over a mile. He steps back to 1,400 meters, but he loves the softer going. So watch out for another big run from Solar Power. That'll be my 3rd choice. And Charlie Croker, my 4th choice. And here again, there are others, obviously, with chances. Blackberry Malton, Scalini, and Richard De Niro. These are all nice horses in a Ferrari, but you can't put them all in. So my top choice would be Felt Good, and my backup would be numbers 1, 5, and 6.
Well, as per usual, thanks very much, Graham, for being on the line. And before I let you go and give the guys your bar-pot selections, would it be fair to say that race number 6, number 4, Official Secret at around 10-1, for the guys out there looking for a little bit of value on the day, that might just be the horse that we both agree could be the Shruti in the pack?
Absolutely. Race 6, number 4, Official Secret. That for me will be the best long-priced each-way selection for the day.
Well, thanks very much, Graham. Take care, and we'll chat to you soon.
Thank you, Sheldon. Go well, hey?
Thanks very much to Graham Hawkins on the line. As we've mentioned, Official Secret, that'll be our value play for the day. And let me just give you the numbers for Graham's bar pot, which starts in race number 2, numbers 4 and 11, by numbers 1 and 11. The third leg, numbers 6, 9, 11. The next leg, numbers 1 and 7. The last 2 legs, he does not trust in the bar pot. Numbers 4, 6, 8, and 9. And then ending off the bar pot, numbers 3, 6, and 9. Best of luck for the Hollywoodbets Kenilworth race meeting. And hopefully the horses do it for you and end up in the winner's queue.